What's up, everybody? It's Simon from Lake Up. We're out here camping, and I'm going to talk about the perfect camp spot. How to pick them, what to look for. Depends on what kind of camping you're doing, who you're doing it with, what kind of gear you're bringing, right? I'm going to go through my order of priority and things that I look for in the perfect camp spot, and we're going to help you pick the perfect spot for your next camp trip. So the very first thing you want to look at is going to be the amenities at the campsite itself. Do you need a pull-through spot? Do you need a long level spot? Do you need asphalt for some reason? Maybe maybe it's been super muddy lately or something like that, and you're afraid of bogging down and getting stuck. Do you need hookups? Here we've got 30 amp and 50 amp in one spot. A lot of times this can be one or the other, and a small camper is going to be 30 amp and a big rig is going to be 50. We also have water on the site, which maybe you do, maybe you don't at a lot of sites, and there's no sewer at this particular spot, that's actually not uncommon. So full hookups would be water, sewer, and electric, and then partial hookups is often going to be water and electric only, no sewer. So I can tell you the power comes in handy. Obviously water comes in handy, but sometimes if there's not water at every spot, it'll be maybe every third spot or something like that. And you just have to kind of truck it over, which is kind of annoying, but it's not a deal breaker. The next thing to consider is the size of the spot. If you've got a huge rig, then you might need a big pull-through spot just like this. And if you've got a small camper, if you've got a little pop-up or you're tent camping, then you can pretty much camp anywhere, so it doesn't really matter. You just might not want, a big asphalt strip or a big concrete strip like this. If you're tent camping, you're really not going to use it. It's just going to be a parking lot for you. Another thing to consider is the proximity of your spot. So what amenities are there around you, like a restroom, right? When my kids were real little, they gave us maybe a 20-second warning for potty. So we needed to be within a 20-second sprint of a restroom, right? So that was like the number one feature. We had to be near the restroom. Now we can stretch that out a little bit, right? We can extend our range a little more around the restrooms. The other thing is the waterfront. We're camping out at the lake, man. Let's get on the water. But again, when my kids were little, I was always worried about them running off into the water without me, catching them. Like if there's like a 5-second window where I'm not paying attention, that's going to be the 5 seconds that they're going to run into the lake. So now they're a little bit older. They can all swim. And they know the rules, and I trust that they're going to obey the rules, right? And so now we can camp waterfront, and we love it. If you've got a boat, then that's totally awesome. If you can get a spot with a beach, right? That's awesome. So playgrounds, hiking trails, biking trails, all the stuff that you like to do. Pick your proximity according to all the things that you like. Another thing to consider is the terrain. So this spot that I'm sitting in right now is wooded, it's private, look at that, it's got privacy almost all the way around. It's up on a little hilltop. There's just not a lot of room. That's the only downside. So I would say the perfect spot has room to play, room for kids or dogs to play or whatever, little room to spread out, right? Along with some privacy, some shade, and a little bit of variety. That's like the perfect spot. Those are hard to find. So usually you have to compromise one way or the other. If you want a little more room, maybe have a little less shade, or vice versa. One of the great things about camping is that you get to experience wildlife in a really unique way, because within campgrounds, a lot of times, hunting and things like that are going to be restricted. Pursuit of game is going to be restricted or even outright prohibited. And so, the wildlife tends to be a lot more docile than they are in other environments. And right behind me, right over here, I'm standing in a camp spot right here, okay? Right there, a herd of deer right behind like this scrubby brush right here. This is like broad daylight, middle of the afternoon, and they didn't think anything of me. They were just hanging out, which is really cool. So as far as terrain goes, that the more, kind of wild and woody it is, then the more you're gonna get to experience things like that too. When it comes to group camping with friends or family, you don't always need to go to like a group camping area. You can pick spots that are really close together with an open middle this is a great group camping spot. There's one that I'm standing in right here, there's one right here, and then one right behind it. And if you've got kids or whatever, and they can all play together in this middle area, you can have big picnics and stuff. So group camping can really be what you make it. So that is how you pick the perfect camp spot. Hope that helps you next trip. Don't miss out on my essential gear for camping video. Talk to you soon.